Hey guys, and welcome to Term 5 for Foundation Patreon. My name is Matthew Zikry, and I'm here today with John Park. And today for Term 5, we're going to bring you guys Sketching for Environments Part 2, Layout and Line Drawing. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and we're just going to draw out the same box that we have, trying to keep the same proportions. And this time we're just going to extract it even more. And what you saw me do right there is I actually put a little point on where I thought that portion of the box should go. What's good about this is when you turn your paper, you're no longer trying to figure out how far to draw out your box. You already eyeballed it, so now you can just connect the lines. So now I'm giving a little lip under the tabletop over here. I'm going to extract some legs underneath it. I established one width, and then we just went ahead and carry that over. And right now what you see me doing is I'm actually trying to carry on a certain line, like a measuring point. So that way we can put some design elements on this leg. Just like in the perspective chapter, if we put an X over our box, we can find the midpoint of it, which we can then extend and extract the midpoint on the sides. So this allows other things to happen, such as right now we're just kind of adding like a tablecloth onto it, some decorative element. So just moving forward, if you kind of take a look at the overall page, well, the overall prop, you could see that we started with the big, and then we're moving to the medium, and now I'm adding in the small. I'm adding in the actual details. You can think of big as actual geometry. You can consider medium as actual breakups in the shape, such as the leg and whatnot. And small is typically just going to be this little silhouette changes, interior detail on objects, stuff that isn't really making too much of an impact.
Let's just come up with a slightly different concept. Okay? Maybe in this one I can have a pillar or a larger object here. And maybe some sort of like awning. Or something. Just to make this a little bit more interesting. And maybe like here, this guy sells like different objects. It kind of varies, Maybe there's like a little hookah thing. And then maybe here it's like there's like another upper floor or something. And this is the kind of thing that I really enjoy the design process or the exploration process at this phase, is because if your idea or your concept doesn't look cool as a small thumbnail, your overall shot's actually not going to look cool. So really trying to figure out what this stuff looks like at this phase is actually more fun to me than doing the final illustration, to be honest. Alright, now I'm going to start plotting in just my secondary vanishing point. Again, we talked about earlier in the previous term how if this is our horizon line and it's straight, then it's going to converge. So imagine our lines, it's going to do something like this. So I can actually take my ruler here and I can point it off to this side, and I can just anchor it out just like this, and they'll give us a nice kind of range of converging lines. Now I'm actually drawing with a relatively light line weight, so a lot of my lines here are kind of anywhere from this light to medium line weight. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I'm going to use my thicker line weight to outline. This is our thick line weight. And the reason being is that when we have just really light objects, one, it's easy for us to kind of sketch in our ideas, you know, whatever it may be, if it's like a box or something. But once we have our ideas, then it's easy for us to use the thick outline to basically punch out the object. So that we can really see how that shows. But if I do it everywhere, you know, it starts to get really cartoony. So I want to be selective with where I punch up the line weight here. Okay? So that's what I'm doing. That's what's going on here. Is that all of this information is going to be relatively on the lighter side. And it's not until I want to beef up the lines is where we're going to really start to see which objects are in front versus what's in back, which objects are grouped together. Grouping meaning, you know, there's a clear understanding of objects that are cluttered together, like that's a group, this is a group. Okay, so that pretty much concludes this demo. I hope this was helpful to you guys. The most important takeaway from a demo like this, or from this type of drawing, is really the process here. And the process is understanding how to just do basic layout comps and taking it to more finished rendering. Again, for you guys, when you guys are doing your assignment and your homework, please take your time on this stuff. The only reason why, you know, we kept our demos anywhere from 1 to 3 hours is that we want to ensure that you don't fall asleep. I mean, obviously a lot of this stuff can be very, you know, long, but it'll give you a good starting point in terms of what to do and how to get to this point. So thank you again for joining us in term 5, and we'll see you next time.